All right, guys, in this video, I'm gonna go over doing local SEO for roofers. I'm gonna give you an overview of the strategy I would use for doing SEO for a roofing company's website. So for the purpose of this video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull out a random website I found on Google search, and I will show you the process I would go through for optimizing that website. Let's say if there were a client that came to me, or whether I was making a lead gen site or whatever the case may be. This is the process I would use to optimize the site for local SEO and get it to rank. And this is the same process that I've already used for dozens of local businesses to get them to rank. So firstly, what I've done is I've just searched Roofers Miami on Google to pull out one example. And I found this website which looked like it didn't have the optimized meta title, and it's on page 3, maybe page 2 or page 3. And so I decided let's select this one because these guys are actually close to being on page 1, but their site's not optimized. So if they did these things, they would actually get to page 1 probably pretty easily. So the first thing that I do is I'll just take a quick look over the whole website and just get an idea of where it is currently. So as we can see already, the meta titles are not optimized, and that's a start. They've got the buttons, which go to a contact page, which is all right. They obviously seem to have some either blogs or jobs, like previous jobs they've done. They got testimonial, which is good. Some projects, some more testimonials, etc. So that's okay. However, in terms of SEO, if we take a look at the pages, let's open the blog, let's open the services. They've got some projects, which is good. And we'll take a look at what's going on here. So, okay, they've got a couple blogs. I'm not sure what keyword that's targeting. This okay? Okay, so they've got some interesting blogs here, which is okay. We'll take a look more into these in depth a little bit later. If we take a look at the services page, this is the services page. Right now they got Miami Roofing Services as the meta title for that. That's not really a keyword that's searched as such. And if we take a look in here, they seem to have services, but they don't seem to have the actual pages for the specific services. So like residential, emergency, etc. So basically, what I'll do last thing actually is I'll just open on Google and just throw the site into Google using the site : operator like this. And this will tell me how many pages they have. So right now, we can take a quick look, see if I'm not missing something with just no internal linking done. And it appears that they don't have internal service pages. And it also seems like they don't have the type of roofs either. So there's definitely a lot of potential that could be done here. It looks like they might have 30 pages or so on the website. So basically it's a very basic website, basic pages. This is usually how I find a lot of local businesses' websites look like. And so this is a prime candidate for actually optimizing and getting on page 1. So from here, the first thing I'll look at is the local Google business listing. So the ones that show up in the box up here. So the first thing you should do if you're running a local business is make one of these and fill out all the details and optimize it as much as possible. So just make sure you've got the name and like the main keyword in the headline, as that tends to help. And then you want to just fill out all the details as much as possible. Put some good photos up there, high quality photos, logos, etc., etc. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to search up the business, which is M3 Roofing, and just see if they show up at all. They do. So for some reason, this is not showing up in terms of ranking on the local results. Now, with these pages, what you should be aware of is that the two major factors for these are proximity to the user who's searching. So it depends where exactly they are and how many reviews you have. So obviously these guys have a decent amount of good reviews, so that's pretty good. You also want to compare against your competitors and try and get more reviews as possible for your listing. So obviously make sure you ask every satisfied customer to leave a review and things like that, as that will help you rank. So that's the very first thing you want to do. Just make sure you have this filled out. You got a couple of good images on there. You've got your open hours, you've got your link to the website, etc., etc. Fill that out because you're going to get some easy free leads that way if it starts showing up for any of the keywords. The next thing you want to do is do an in-depth audit of the actual website itself. So we've done a basic overview audit. You would want to go into more details and check all the different technical SEO aspects. So for example, the meta titles, H1 headlines, etc., etc. Right now, because they don't have many pages, that's basically fruitless to try and do like that kind of audit because there's just no pages to audit, so it doesn't even really matter. However, what does matter is some technical aspects. So is the site indexable and all these things? Now, one free tool you can use is called Screaming Frog. So if you just type in Screaming Frog, Basically, this will scrape the website, this one here, it'll crawl it and give you like an overview audit. So what I'm gonna do is I'll run the audit quickly on this website and I'll show you what that looks like. What it'll do is it will scan the website and see what's going on. So I'll run the audit quickly and we can take a look at what it's gonna show us. So you enter the URL and you just hit start and let it do its thing. All right, and now the crawl is done. And as you can see, it's crawled 400 URLs apparently, which I find quite interesting considering that very few of them are actually showing up on Google. So they seem to have a lot of blogs. If we scroll down here and take a look, it's showing 89 URLs there. So I'm not sure why it says encountered 480. There could be like feeds or something, but basically what this will do is it will give you a list of issues that has found regarding SEO on the website. These are all technical errors. And so what you can do is you can go through and fix all of these. So for example, here we have internal errors, so like 404s, a couple of URLs with 404 potentials, a couple of no index pages, which is obviously not relevant if it's a cart issue, canonicalized URLs, page titles that are below 30 characters, so they're very short, low content pages. As you can see here, there's quite a lot, mostly in the project side. Page titles that are too long, multiple H1s on a couple of pages, H1s missing on a lot of pages, links going too many external links, etc., duplicate H2s and so on. And so you can go through and now get this, and you can export this list as well and go through and correct each of these errors that need to be corrected to just get the base of the technical SEO of the website done. And so then once you're sure that all of that is done and that there's no actual technical errors on the site, then you can move on to actually optimizing it, making new pages, doing the content, etc. So once that's done, you've got the basis completed. Now what you want to start doing is figuring out, okay, what keywords does this website need to rank for that it doesn't rank for now? Or if it does, good, what additional ones can we add? And so you want to start with like the high level keywords. So for example, roofers Miami, and that would be the main one that you're trying to get the site to rank for. And obviously all of these different variations here. Now, what you also need to establish is what additional keywords to this need to rank. So for example, because I know this niche a bit, I know already that you've got residential roofing and you've got roof replacements and things like that. So right now, Miami residential roofers, this one doesn't get that much searches, but if we go roof replacements, Miami, this one is a big one. So you've got commercial roof replacements and you've got roof replacement Miami. This one is one that they don't even have a page on, that they should, because you can rank for roof replacement Miami, Florida, right? That does get a decent amount of searches, as well as the commercial roofing, and they don't have pages for that either. And so what you need to do is establish all these things. So you would have roof replacements, you would want new roofs, you would have roof repairs. If you offer roof repairs, there's all these different areas. There you go, roof repairs Miami, that you would want to rank for as well. Emergency roof repairs. And then you also want to do the types of roofs that you could rank for as well. So you would go metal roofs Miami. So you can see there, you get some searches for that. Metal roof Miami. You will have tile roofs and all the different types of roofs as well. And so basically what we're trying to establish here is all the different topics that we need to rank for and then make pages for them. So you would have like services, so like new roofs, roof repairs, roof replacements, and then you would have like metal roofs, tile roofs, all the other types of roofs as well, shingle, etc. Like if we do tile, you'll see tile. And you want to make a list of these and then make pages for all of these. So tile roof Miami, for example. You want to make a list of all these because these are all the different topics that you're going to have on your website, and you need a main service page for each of these that you actually want to offer. And so once you've established that, then you can start broadening out into the different blogs that you should be writing about these. So for example, you can see here already, if we have tile roof, we've got what is the best roof tile for Miami? Where can I buy roof tiles Miami? You've got, I know a bunch of other ones, let's say for example, metal roof Miami. You will have a bunch of questions to do with that as well. Now, if it shows up like this where you don't have questions, what you do is you just go straight to metal roof and you will get a bunch here. How to install metal roofs, how much does it cost? There was some that are like, does insurance cover roof replacements for roof replacements? Basically, you want to build out all the different topics that you want to talk about in the blog that are related to the main thing. So whether you've got metal roofs, you would have the metal roof topics, then you have roof replacements, tile roofs, etc., etc. And you build all these out so that you can create these silos or these topical structures on your website relating to each of these topics. For those of you who don't know, by the way, this is SEMrush that I'm using to do this keyword research. If you're going to be doing SEO, I do recommend that you use a tool like this, because otherwise it's just going to be very difficult to get this data otherwise. So I personally like SEMrush and I use it. So I'm going to put my affiliate link below. You can get a 7-day free trial and test it out. Otherwise, something like Ahrefs will work fine as well. They do the same thing. Otherwise, you're basically just left to searching on Google and not getting the same amount of data. But with that leads me to my next point, where what you can also do is if you go to Google and you type in, let's say, roofers Miami, you see how you have all of these different questions. These are all things that you can answer on your blog as well. So you can also expand this and get more. Typically, you'll get some more, as you can see here. And so you can start answering this. Like, for example, are tile roofs better than shingle roofs in Florida? That's a great topic you should talk about. Why are roofs so expensive? How much does a roof cost in Miami? Etc., etc. And so these things will give you ideas. And so then the next thing you can also do is, like I said, the different topics like metal roof. How much is a metal roof? Should I budget for a metal roof? What's the average cost? Metal roof versus shingles. Is it worth it? Etc. And again, so now we've got a bunch of what's the biggest problem with metal roofs, are the disadvantages. These are all different topics you should cover on your blog if you want to rank for this particular area. And then that is how you establish all of the different pages and blogs you should be writing about, which at this point will be in the tens, if not, hundreds, couple hundred. You could definitely make a list of to talk about all these different topics. So now, once you've got that, now you know what blogs you need to write and what pages you should be making. So when you're making these pages, there's a couple of basics that you want to cover. For example, let's go to their services page. Now, ultimately, they should have a residential page and a services page, an emergency repairs page, etc. Let's say they did. What you would want to do, let's assume that this was a residential services page. What you would want to do is have the main keyword in the H1 headline. So we want to make sure that this is actually so it's not even an H1, it's H2, as you can see there. So what you need to do is make sure you actually have an H1 headline for starters. And then you want to have the main keyword in there. So if it's residential roofing, you want to find out what the main keyword is for that specific one. In this case, let's see what it is. Miami residential roofers, maybe it's roofing. Sometimes it will still show low volume even though it is proper volume. So expert residential roof installation in Miami. So residential roofing services Miami. So in this case, you would want residential roofing Miami would be the keyword I would go for in this particular case. You could also include installation as well. And you would want to have that in the H1 headline, which would be the main headline at the top. Then you would also want to have that keyword in the meta title up here, which is the one that shows up on Google as well. So the meta title is the one that shows up in the tab, and it's the one that shows up here in the search results. So you want to have the main keyword in there as well. So residential roofing Miami would be up here too. Then you also want to make sure that your description here is optimized. Now, while that's not a ranking factor in itself, it will influence your CTR and how many people actually click on your result. So you can use it to convince people to click yours and make yours stand out. And also, if you notice the bolding here, if you include the keyword that was searched, so the main keyword for that page, it will actually show up bold as well, and that helps make it stand out. So these are some tips you want to use for the description. Then what you also want to do is make sure that the first sentence on the page has the main keyword in it. So for example, you would have like, new residential roofing in Miami. It will have that variation. You want to have that in the first sentence, the content. And you also want to have it in the first H2 headline. So for example, this should really be an H2 headline. And in there, you want to have a variation of the main keyword. So if this was the residential roofing page that we are talking about, let's say this said residential roofing Miami, you would have a subheadline here that said something like residential roofing installers or installation in Miami. You would have that as the H2 here with those keywords, and then you would talk about residential roofing installations. And then that's how you get the keyword and the variations on the page for that specific page on that topic. So in this case, it would be residential roofing. And that makes that page extremely relevant for that keyword and that topic, and then you're much more likely to rank. So if you do that across all of the different pages, then you stand a much, much higher chance of ranking on page 1 for your target keywords because the page is so relevant for the keyword. Then what you want to do from there is actually optimize the content itself. So you want to make sure that you have good content that actually talks about the topic, includes the different variations and all the different subtopics about that. So if you go like residential roofing, for example, typically speaking, there'll be like subtopics. So I'm just going to remove Miami and just go residential roofing. And there will be like, how much does it cost? Why choose us? How long do they last? Does it qualify for energy credit? Could be something you could include. All of these different things you can include on that page in that content. And the other thing you want to do is, let's say you're trying to rank for residential roofing Miami. What you want to do is get the average word count of the sites that rank on that page. So all the competitors, so let's say these guys, the directory, not so much, but the actual businesses. And what you do is you go word count. And you want to go and get the word count for each page and establish an average, because then you know how long your page should be as well. And that does make a difference. We can already see that it's not really applicable because it's the home page in this case. And it's because it's set up as a landing page. So there isn't a lot of content there. Now, a side note to this is that these pages are not very specific to residential. So you actually probably stand a good chance of ranking if you have a specific residential page. I'm going to assume that these guys don't have one, which is why their home pages are ranking. This one does, so you can use this as an example. We can take this and we can get at least a gauge of how long it should be. So 500 words. And let's see about these guys. These guys also appear to be a home page with not a lot of content. So basically, in this case, you got a lot of leeway because most of the competitors don't have even a specific page about this. So if you made a specific page, you're very likely to actually rank for that, like these guys have with this page. So I would do similar to what these guys are doing. Pay attention to what content they have, what headlines, etc., what sections of content, and include similar and maybe make it a little bit longer and a bit better. And that will help you to rank as well. So in this case, it's an interesting example where you actually have quite a bit of room to work with there. But typically speaking, you will be able to get a gauge of how long the content should be because you'll have 3, 4, 5 competitors. You get the average and then you know whether you're in the range or whether you're way longer or way shorter, and you know what you need to do to optimize it. Now, once you've got that done, you also want to make sure that you optimize the page for conversions. So let's say someone lands on the page. You want to make sure that they actually can contact you and want to contact you. So part of the way to do that is to make sure that you've got obvious call to action buttons. So these guys have one at the top on the right, the phone number, but as soon as you scroll, that's gone. And now for the rest of the page, they have a form down here, which is okay, but this looks like a subscription to a newsletter rather than an actual contact form. And they do have one button here, which says schedule walkthrough, which in my opinion is not that clear. I would have a form on this page, a big obvious form that people can fill out straight away so they don't have to leave and go on a different page because they're likely to get distracted and not fill it out. It might not load, it doesn't really matter. I would put this form on every page that you actually have on the website, and then that will increase the chances that someone actually contacts you. Now, another thing to do with conversion is you also need to actually sell why they should contact you specifically. And part of that is things like testimonials, showing what area you service, basically leaving any potential question, don't leave the questions unanswered. You want to answer every possible objection or every possible question so that they know, yes, they do what I want. Yes, they're a good trusted source. They have testimonials. They service my area. Basically, there's no reason they wouldn't contact you if they need what you offer, and then they're much more likely to contact you. So you want to include all those elements on your page as well. And now the last thing from here, once you've done that, now your website is foundationally done. It's all optimized. You've got the content that you've made, ideally the service pages. Now you can start writing the content over time for all the blogs that we spoke about. And now from here, what you want to do as well is do a blast of citations to begin with and social profiles. This just helps get your brand mentioned out across the internet. It helps spread your details, name, address, phone number, website, the NAPW, which is very important for local ranking. And so the citations will contain those. And then that helps to essentially establish the business as real and get it mentioned across the web so that Google can see that, okay, this is actually a business. It's what normal businesses would do, which would be get listings on all the different things, all the different sites, get social profiles, etc., etc. So basically you're mimicking what a normal business would do so that you get considered as one as well. So you can either go on Google and do them yourself. So what you would do is you would type in, let's say, for example, business directories Miami, and you could go through and manually try and find all the different directories you should list your website on. Do it manually, that's fine. And then you could go Miami, then you could go Florida, then you could try find roofing specific ones, and then you could go Florida, and then let's say the whole US. What you can also do is if we searched, let's go back to the search, you can see here that a lot of the ones ranking are, let's say, Angie's List, This Old House, who else? These guys, GAF. So if you get listed on them, and ideally at the top of these results, you could actually be getting another listing on Google essentially as well. And so it's not a bad idea if you can afford it, because some of these can be expensive, but if you can afford it, to pay to get the top listing here, because that's actually going to get you more leads as well, because this is essentially another listing on page 1 of Google, and that can only help you. So that will help as well, and that will help to get you authority to your site by way of a backlink as well. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, to do citations, if you don't want to go through and manually do them, I recommend a service like Authority Builders. I actually use these guys for citations personally, and they've been very reliable, where basically you can go to them, and if you go here, you go citations, you can just get them to do them for you, and they'll do them for $1 each. So they'll do up to 200 citations. So you just select your country, select how many you want, click order, and now it'll give you this to fill out. You fill out your business details, and then they will go and get you listed on up to 200 citations on there. So this is a much, much faster and easier way to do it, and it's how I do it. So I'm going to put my affiliate link below to them if you want to go check them out and use the service. Otherwise, there's a bunch of other citation services you can use as well that will largely do the same thing. And that's a quick and easy way to get your business listed a lot of places. And then the next thing I would do is also make social profiles. So, you know, everything from Facebook to Pinterest, Tumblr, all of these social profiles. Make sure you got the business logo on there. Make sure that you have the website linking back and like a brief, decent description about the business, and ideally a couple of posts as well. Make it look as real as possible. And that's just going to help get you some social signals as well, especially if people are coming from those listings to your site. Now, again, you can go through and make these, or you can go on something like Fiverr or Upwork and basically pay someone like $50 and they'll go and make you like 50 to 100 social media profiles across all the different websites. And that's a much quicker way to do it. So you can do it that way as well. And then from here, you've got the foundation laid, your site's optimized, you've got all the different pages, you've got the content strategy ready to roll, and now you've got the citations and social profiles. Now from here, you start posting that content, and then as needed, you can also make some backlinks as well to your website. If it's a more competitive niche or you want to boost it up quicker, you can make some backlinks. Just make sure that they're good, relevant backlinks, and that can help you rank as well. A lot of times with local SEO, you can get away with just doing really good content and then citations and social profiles and not worry too much about backlinks. But if you have the budget or if you have the time to do it, by all means, it's only going to help you and make you harder to overtake by competitors. So that's basically it. That's the overview of the local SEO strategy for roofers, and this works for many different niches as well, but I wanted to specifically apply it for roofers in this case. You can see a direct example. If you have any questions about any of this, put this in the comments below and I will actually answer them. Otherwise, if you'd like me and my team to get you results for your roofing or any other type of business with SEO and or Google Ads, go to dominatemarketing.io where you can fill out a form and I'll take a look over your business and see what the best approach is. And if SEO or Google Ads or both is the best strategy, then I'll let you know, and I'll let you know what we can do for you and what kind of results you can expect. Otherwise, if you'd like me to coach you on how to do SEO for your own business and also Google Ads as well, go to learndominatemarketing.com. I've got a coaching program for $49 a month where you can jump on up to 2 calls a week with me, and I will help you get whatever you need done in terms of SEO, Google Ads, marketing, basically anything you need that I can help with. I'll help you do that and coach you so that you can get results. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Catch you on the next one.